Hey, if I could have everybody come around the cactus here.
I was gonna hand it to you, but I was like, she's doing good.
Yeah, if I could have everybody come around on this side, please. We're gonna get this started now. Thank you all for being out here. My name is Cesar Aguirre. And you know what? I gotta tell you, lately it's been a trip. A lot of my feed on Facebook has been a lot about housing. It's been a lot about people losing their homes, people's rents going up, and crazy increases on rent. Of course, we see the prices of everything going up, but as it is, the housing is getting crazy here in Tucson. We're in a crisis, and we know it. And there's a lot of people talking about it, but that's all I see. That's all I hear is talk. I don't see nobody doing nothing about it. And that's why we're out here today, because we need to do something. We need some action. There's more and more people out on the streets. There's more and more families out there struggling, and nobody's doing anything to help us out. And we need to do something. And that's why we're here today. I'd like to introduce Zaida.
Thank you. I'm going to introduce our partners. So first and foremost, let's give a round of applause to the absolute angels at Casa Maria Soup Kitchen for leading us on this, but for just being some of the best people we all know. And for the amazing food, thank you. Next, Pima Area Labor Federation. Woo! Always backing us up. People's Defense Initiative. Woo! And of course, the Tucson Tenants Union. Yeah! Barrio Neighborhood Coalition. Yeah! Tucson Alliance Housing for Justice. Yeah! Party for Socialism and Liberation Tucson. Woo! And of course, our forever comrades, Tucson Jobs with Justice. And Barrio Viejo. All right, I'll hand it back over to my compa.
Thank you, Zaida. Give it up one more time for Zaida, please. Thank you. And to all of our partners out here, give it up one more time. Thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce Tanya.
Hi everybody, I'm Tanya. I'm from the Party for Socialism and Liberation. I also work at Casa Maria, and I'm just here to introduce my comrades, my friends. They're great pillars of the community, artistic pillars, and they're here to support, defend the barrio that they were born and raised in. So I want to give it up for a round of applause for Ray and Enrique. And they're gonna start it off with some culture, with some songs. So thank you, Ray.
Everybody, right now it's been very intense. I know a lot of family members, a lot of friends who are right now being displaced because of what's been going on in the city. So we just came to speak a couple words on that, speak a couple words on our narrative, where we're from, things like that, okay? Look, pieces of sky on the floor. I step amongst the holes in the ozone. Never postpone, my soul knows. My whole glow came off what they don't know. Listen, don't hold me down, lift me up. I told you back when cousin was walking around with that crutch. Flask in the pocket of a tortured heart. Rapping and liquor dance, the landmark. 18 to start, 20 got smart. Had to invest in ourselves. Went gold off the block, I give a fuck about they charts. We try to build a board for the next album. Put me on game, wait for the outcome. Don't leave me dead in the water to see how far I even get without none. Listen, why? Why I don't know nobody's shit but my nana. I ain't throwing in if we ain't got defeated partners, we a problem. Homies out here trying to fix these problems, like where's all that? Look, my pops knew shit didn't happen like the movies. My mom's knew shit didn't happen like the movies. My cousins knew shit didn't happen like. So how you witnessed it, you ain't living. Look, they try to kick us out of homes, it didn't happen like the movies. Try to take our houses, it didn't happen like the movies. Try to kick us out, it didn't happen like the movies. Man, I said they can't really win groupies. They try to kick us out, it didn't happen like the movies. Try to kick me out my house, it didn't happen like the movies. Try to kick me out my house, it didn't happen like the movies. Now, help me out. What? I said trying to kick me out my house, it didn't happen like the movies. Kick me out the house, it didn't happen like the movies. Kick me out my house, it didn't happen like. They trying to kick me out my house, it didn't happen like the movies. There's a line, a fence, a symbol reinforced by bullets and beams and barbed wire and brown bodies in uniforms. This line cuts through lands that have been stolen time and time and time again. Ahora we have no names for these nations. We only have names for ourselves. For me and my people, we have nothing but love, and nothing but love for this brown skin, and these brown eyes, and these brown lips, and these brown bodies wishing to be ungovernable, forged from colonization. These are my people, heirs to a history we're not responsible for, but in response to. Veil that skin folk aren't always your kinfolk. Veil brown bodies in uniforms. Veil brown men enact violence upon the most vulnerable. Veil how capital convinces poor people to pacify and look the other way. Veil billetes worship como santos y la verdad. Prayers don't keep the lights on y la verdad. We pray for money to feed ourselves. Y veil bright minds coping with cigarettes and blunts and swigs of Henny and pills and shroom caps and processed food available to us at Food City and Super y cualquier carniceria. We see these facts of our conditions. We don't control our water sources, our food production, our young people's future. And we see the cruel aging on our homies' faces and the things they carry and stubbornly consider culture. We veil that our brothers don't cry enough, that our sisters don't feel protected, that our siblings yearn for a quiet home, a livable income, a hot meal waiting for them after a long day of survival. We don't see a world without work and sorrow and minimum wage. I thought if we wanted liberation, it would come by bullets and guns and protests and statues tumbling and economies crashing and casualties stacking and a never-ending riot. Pero ahora, I think liberation starts where all things arise. Our love. When I say I love my people, I need y'all to say I love, all right? I love my people. I love black people. I love brown people. I love indigenous people. Yellow people. Racialized people. Working class people. Poor people. Overworked people. Underpaid people. Undocumented people. Colonized people. Queer trans people. Queer people. Traumatized people. I love my people. Like me and unlike me. We love them so much we commit to liberation. Not in an event, but an ongoing choice. We choose to love in the face of annihilation. I want my people like me and unlike me to eat and laugh and pray and sing and dance and sway and cry and denounce and demand and destroy and create and build and love and love and love. I love my people. I love my people. And this is the choice I choose each time I choose liberation. I am with my people. I am here. This is our choice. We choose our people. Stop evictions. Stop gentrification. Stop the deforestation. The ecological transformation of these lands. Can I say one more time? I love my people. I say love, can y'all say love? Love! 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 Listen, the moon kissed skins. I talk my shit till the end of script, the end of pith. Sentence was a mistrial, fan ready to kiss his kids. Type of ink to never disappear. Don't be afraid to face disappear. The fear was necessary from January to next January. Very clear. X'd out the stocks, you couldn't find it on StockX. My little bro told me crypto was the new Loch Ness. We making invisible money, not only IRS can take it from me. Nobody's in a business where everybody hungry, body haunted. I wish somebody would confront me. Got these false ways, lost plays off in front of me. Can't be fake about it, like how they come to this. Can't forsake the days that I ain't get a chance to live. There ain't no fake smiles, I can't live in bliss. Live in 6 cents, put them to the church with only 6 cents. Like, is this enough to repent? Had to resend every letter that they resent. Took my time while they was speeding down the block and I've been bleeding. For all the seeds that I had planted when was really needed. Your ideas, your being, I hope you really know what you've been seeking. But tell me what you bring in. My knees been teething. I see no defense. To see this house in crisis isn't preaching isn't pretend. No. Yo, make some noise for Ray one time. Make some noise for yourselves. Look, I need you to envision this. Everyone's hands reaching toward the sky, and everyone pulling down the prayers of destruction overhead, and everyone beginning to run towards the wall, towards the building, towards the monument of rupture and separation. Envision this. Everyone tearing the wall down with their hands. Everyone tearing this building down with their hands, and their rage and their desire to be free. No detention centers, no checkpoints, no walls, no rapid bus transit through South Tucson, more affordable housing and rent control, temporary camps for the unhoused, stopping the sweets. Envision that. Our hands, our ability to hold and to be held, our power to create and destroy, all of our collective vitality used to destroy the creators of separation, to dismantle the conditions that harm and extract from us, to begin the construction of something new and long overdue, something to hold and to be held by. Thank you. Pass it on to whoever needs the mic.
I just need a moment and let that sink in.
Amen.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
Yes.
I appreciate that. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a little choked up right now, straight up. Linda?
You and me both, brother. I'd like to just say a small blessing really quick. Padre Santo, we all stand unified in this place with our hearts heavy burdened because we recognize the urgency to act on behalf of our brothers and sisters. Let justice and mercy begin with us. In the name of Padre Santo. Amen.
Amen. Yes.
My name is Glenda. My name is Glenda Avalos, and when I first came to Tucson, my first job was at the Salvation Army Winter Shelter Program. I have served Tucson and South Tucson's unsheltered community in different capacities for the past 18 years. 15 of those with the Salvation Army and the rest with Casa Maria. We are in a state of emergency. We need shelter now, with hundreds of tents popping up all over the city. I'm sorry, I'm choked up too. Whew, I gotta take a deep breath. With hundreds of camps popping up all over the city. We recognize that our shelters are not working at 100% capacity because COVID undermines that. And we're still ongoing with the concern that the pandemic has not ended. We are in a state of emergency, again, I tell you. Because that is what we really truly want to say out to our neighbors today. We are in a state of emergency. We have countless and countless of individuals asking for help. We have right now overdoing their parts. I'm sorry, I just want to cry and I'm just going to put this down. Ladies and gentlemen, each of your hearts today is convicted. Convicted that we need to act today. Why? Because we have a lot of homeless people right now. We have a situation in our hands that is not just going to sit still. It's going to rapidly grow in abundance. We are recognizing right now that everything that is being done through Housing First and the rest of our community that is putting their efforts to house and shelter our house community is not being enough. It's not moving enough. We have right now, I know personally, many families who are doubling up simply to survive. Our elderly community is targeted. Our elderly community on fixed income and the rest are being targeted by the rent increase. This demographic of our unhoused community is not going to stay still. It's going to grow. It's going to rapidly grow with the additional layer of evictions that we're coming forth now that the eviction moratorium for the city property-owned housing is about to be ended. As our coalition, we talk and we engage and we come together with our homeless community, and through multiple conversations we've come to the conclusion that one-size-fits-all solution is not the case. We need to work together to provide as many options as possible. Many options as possible. Because again, what is being done is not enough, and it's not moving enough. Creating a sanctuary for those looking for a safe place to lay their heads with basic human need, accessibility, and resources is what we need. We need to create those places. Those places need to work in that direction of us moving forward. In addition to that, we need to stop the sweeps of all around the existing camps that we have. We need to instead invest those resources into housing people and providing the resources that they need. We move forward together. In 2020, I lost my mother. And I just about lost my mind. But I had support, and I honor God today for that support. Each of us are at the brink of losing emotional and financial security because their future are not secure and not certain. But we all have some type of support, whatever the situation might be, that helps us out of those difficult moments. Why can't we be that support now for our brothers and sisters? Why can't we be that support? I tell you this because we're all at that brink. And we need to act in the urgency that this situation requires, because these are our mothers, these are our brothers, these are our daughters, these are our sons. We need to create those sanctuary camps that they can provide those resources that needed to take on the next step while we wait for everything else. Blessings.
Thank you so much, Glenda. All right, next I'd like to introduce... okay, my bad. Sorry about that. Where's Ryan at? There he is. All right, cool. This is Ryan. He's going to talk to us a little bit about BRT, the Bus Rapid Transit.
All right, everybody, I'm Ryan Kelly. If you don't know me, I'm the field director and resident rabble-rouser for the Female Labor Federation. And wherever the people are is where we are, right? Yes. And I want to highlight something. When people who do the amazing work that Cesar and Glenda do every day, 18 years, and she's getting choked up. And my brother for life, Brian Flagg, back here doing it for like 40 years. He gets choked up. If they're not desensitized by what they see every day in our community, these people in this building may be, but that's why we're here today. We're here to tell them no. We're here to tell them enough. And the only way to get what we want is to organize en masse, bring more people. And the next time we bring twice as many people. And we don't stop until we get what we want. All right? You can't desensitize the people who see the despair inflicted upon our community by the people in this building every day. So let's keep that in mind. Now let's talk some nuts and bolts. I've been tasked with talking about BRT, the Bus Rapid Transit. Now you would think, hey, labor, it makes sense. Labor would want that, right? Create jobs, build these bus stations, more jobs for bus drivers. Some of those are union jobs. Why are we saying no? Why did our entire delegate body of like 25 plus unions, we have 25,000 union member families across southern Arizona. Why did they all unanimously jump on board to support Casa Maria and the groups involved in this coalition? Because you can't put the cart before the horse. What does that mean? You can build bus rapid transit, but if you're building it through communities that are already, facing gentrification and displacement, people who are being displaced or at high risk for displacement, if you're building it in those communities with no other resources, it's really not for them. It's not for us, right? Just like we've been out here for several years now talking about gentrification. Back with Casa Maria, back in 2018, we're talking about the Central Business District. We're talking about G-Plex, right? All of that wonky stuff that a lot of people tune out. And they say, oh, well, you know, as the city, we don't have a lot of tools in our toolbox. This is another one of those tools. It's a tentacle of the same body that is displacing our neighbors, each other, one another. You cannot put the cart before the horse. That puts capital projects before people. The reason that this doesn't work, you know, this isn't just imaginary make-believe. There's case study on this. It didn't work in Los Angeles. It didn't work in Albuquerque. It hasn't worked across the country. Why? Because they put in the infrastructure and it doesn't help the people. When you put in a bus rapid transit hub or a station, guess what happens to the property rates, the property values right around that station? They go up. We're already hurting. We're already getting kicked out of our homes. The rent's already going up. We don't need to incentivize these slumlords to raise those prices even more.
Amen.
Okay? So if we do not commit to building truly affordable housing, I mean, I dare say public housing. And we should build, excuse my language, we should build a shit ton of public housing. We should max that out. Is there a cap? Let's exceed it. I don't care. Let's build public housing. But what does affordable housing mean? Because we hear a lot of buzz phrases, right? Workforce housing is a big one right now. Workforce housing. Well, we see what happens with the G-Plex in the Central Business District downtown in these $4,000 a month luxury high-rise apartments that none of us can live in. Hell, 5 of us together couldn't afford that. I'm speaking for me. Maybe you guys are doing a little better than me. But let's talk about workforce housing, because that's not, I mean, luxury housing and workforce housing. But workforce housing is a technical term, so don't be fooled by it. If somebody can sell you, as you know, they can sell the city on a pitch for workforce housing, and they say, we can sell to the common folk. Okay, so what's the max? By definition, workforce housing says that they can sell housing for 120% market rate. They're going to actually upcharge us on this stuff, okay? That's not affordable housing. I'm not going to go, hey, you know what? I'm really in need of a place. I'm going to, like, right up front, I'm going to look at the math, I'm going to look at my empty bank account. 120% market rate, yeah, I'm going to apply and get that loan. Yeah, that's going to work for me. It ain't going to work for any of us, okay? That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's not workforce housing. The workforce here is primarily working poor, and that's who we as the Labor Federation work to defend every day and stand up and raise those wages. You cannot put the cart before the horse. You cannot put capital projects before people, because they displace even more people. They compound on itself. It makes the situation worse. It makes it worse. The city is about to spend millions of dollars, some of it in a grant program through the federal government, through transportation grants. Other cities have done the same thing, and they're still waiting to get paid from the government. They still haven't got those matching funds or whatever, however the deal works behind closed doors. They're still waiting on it. Why is Tucson going to be any different? The answer is it's not. We have to stop it. We have to come together, stop it, demand affordable housing now, truly affordable housing, and we don't stop until we're done.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that. Next, Roxy.
Hello, thank you everybody for coming. My name is Roxana Valenzuela, and I grew up in the barrios of South Tucson. And I have my friend here.
Yeah, I'm from the Amphi neighborhood, Hassan Clement.
Thank you everybody for your support. So I'm going to be talking about housing and why we need not just the city of Tucson, but Pima County and other non-government agencies to create and preserve more housing. It started last year. A group of community leaders and I went and door knocked on virtually every door of the residents of South Tucson. We just wanted to check in with them, see how they were doing, how they were surviving the pandemic. And they had a lot to say. People were being forced to move in with other family members because they had nowhere else to go. A pregnant woman had to leave her house with her young children because her landlord refused to fix her cooler. There was apartments that were infested with rats, and yet the rents continue to increase. It's been over a year, and guess what? Nothing has gotten any better. People are still being priced out of their places. Their crowding and housing are still continuing because it takes multiple incomes to be able to afford rent now. People are moving further south where they don't have access to any resources or services. Conditions have not improved. And pushing people southward has historically been racist. Just like Lidia Otero said in her book, La Calle, when the powerful people here in Tucson want more land, they just push those Mexican vibrant communities further and further south. And that is what we're seeing happening right now. It happened in the 60s, and it's happening again. It's gentrification through removal, and we need to put a stop to it right now. But what's worse is that the gentrification now is global. We have huge banks and huge investment companies just buying blocks, neighborhoods, and they're targeting vulnerable communities where are homes to people of color, of low or very low income. And also the city of Tucson has been part of this gentrification. They have sold the dream that, we're investing in your neighborhoods, we're investing in your community. This is good for economic development. Well, I call bullshit. You know what? Invest in the people, and that's what's going to sustain our communities. We're just here to tell the city officials that we want a monetary commitment and follow-up for safe, beautiful housing for people of low or very low income. And we're asking that you start in the city of South Tucson, one of the poorest cities in Arizona. Help your neighbor, because when you help your neighbor, it's great for the greater good of everybody. And your commitment to the 300 units of affordable housing is no longer enough. They had their big shot finance group able to find money for, to create more pensions for the police and fire. Well, what about the housing dignity for everybody? We're saying enough is enough, and it's time that they come alongside and fight with us for housing for everyone.
Yeah, peace, everyone. I'm here to support Casa Maria and what they're doing. I live in the Amphi neighborhood, but I'm supporting what's going on in South Tucson because that bus line is coming through my neighborhood in the Amphi district. And the same things that people in South Tucson need, we need up in the Amphi neighborhood. I'm knocking on doors right now. People's rents are going up, and people don't even have fit and habitable houses. So we're talking about putting people in houses, and we need to make sure people that are in their houses have fit and habitable houses. This ain't no charity. We paying rent, and this is what we deserve to have. And these fit and habitable houses, we need to have a commitment from the city. Everybody's been saying people first. That the capital, all that investment, putting the cart before the horse. We need more than 300 houses that they promised. We need a commitment that matches the emergency that's going on.
All right, Zaira, you want to come back up here again?
Hi, y'all. I'm back, and I promise that this wasn't. We didn't collaborate on this at all, but I'm here to speak on rent control and rent stabilization. But before I do that, I wanted to talk about something bigger, and that something bigger is love. We are all here because we share love ethic. A love ethic presupposes that everyone has the right to be free, to live fully, and to live well. The principles of love ethics include showing care, respect, knowledge, integrity, and the willingness to cooperate. Bell Hooks wrote that in order for us to live our lives based on the principles of love ethic, we have to be courageous. Love ethic is what brought us all here today. You know why everybody's up here crying? Because life sucks right now, right? Every person that showed up today, you are courageous. We are confronted with so much heaviness every single day in this backward ass fucking country. But somehow today we got up, we got dressed, and we showed up. And we showed up to say that we're not gonna take it. We're done. From here on out, we have to refuse to engage with the current rhetoric which will have us beg for crumbs, which will have us believe that displacement is inevitable. We will not succumb to the notion that our suffering is acceptable so long as someone's making a profit. Today and every day moving forward, I want to welcome y'all and encourage y'all to loudly proclaim that housing is a human right, and on this we will not compromise. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. It is a human right, period. We are a community with vision. Donella Meadows once said, "A vision articulates a future that someone deeply wants and does it so clearly and compellingly that it summons up the energy, sympathy, political will, creativity, resources, or whatever it takes to make that vision happen." Housing for everyone is that vision today, and not a single person can be left behind. Rent control and rent stabilization is just a step, a tiny little step towards a future built on love ethic. Rent control because home really is where the heart is. Rent control because working families and their homes should not be held hostage by greedy landlords. Rent control because our elderly are on fixed incomes. Rent control because our disabled community members need, for those of us who can't fight, to fight like hell right now. Rent control because eviction is violence. Rent control because we reject the notion that elected officials cannot move to take some action. They do a lot of action when we're doing things they don't like. They'll make the calls and raise $1 million to kill an initiative that they don't agree with. If elected officials say that their hands are bound, we are firmly asking them, unbind them now. If we have policies that keep us from passing rent control, then undo them. Policies are made, they can be unmade. Where there is a will, there is always a way. And until they find the will, we are here to show them the way.
Yeah.
With that, I want to end with a chant. When I say tenant, you say power. Tenant.
Power.
Tenant.
Power.
Tenant.
Power.
Tenant.
Power.
Tenant.
Power.
Tenant.
Power.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Zara. Appreciate that. That was beautiful. All right. For those of you that don't know, I used to live and work at Casa Maria for many years, 8 years, 8 plus. I live there with my kids, and I have 2 daughters I raised on my own. I'm a single parent. And I'll tell you what, out of all those years working at Casa Maria, I haven't seen the things that I've been seeing these last few years. And it sucks because working in the soup kitchen, I would see a lot of my homies in the soup line. I would see a lot of people I grew up with, friends of mine, friends of friends, family members, and now we have this huge homeless population that really isn't out on the streets, but living with each other. We got 2-3 families together living in houses. We got parents sending their kids to live with other family members because they can't afford to house the whole family anymore. And it's not right. It needs to end. It needs to stop. And you know, if you know me personally, one of my big beefs, and because of the racial profiling that I've had to deal with my entire life, is police and the way police can operate and do operate a lot of times. And so what we're seeing now is police having to round up people, clean up their trash, and move them. And that's all they're doing, is moving them to another place where they go camp out somewhere else and make another big old mess. And we need to have safe places for people to be. If we're going to have this huge homeless population out here, we need to have a safe place for them to be. We need to have toilets that they can use. We need to have places they can wash up, where they can get access to water, where they can have shelter. It's ridiculous that we cannot... How can we not help other people in our community that are suffering, that are struggling, that are dying out here in the streets every day? Seriously, like, this is enough. I'm tired of it. I'm tired. I got 2 daughters that are growing up in this world now. Young adults. They're having children of their own. And they can't afford to find housing. It's ridiculous. It's enough already. I'm done. I don't know about y'all. I'm done. This is enough. We need to make some changes. And we're calling out to the people that have the power to do it. We're out right here, and right on their front steps, on their front porch, demanding some change. Not asking for it. I'm done asking. We need change now. We need y'all to put your money where your mouth is. Create safe spaces for people to be that are unhoused right now. And create more housing so that we don't have this problem anymore. Create jobs for people. Help people start their own businesses here. We don't need corporations coming in here running crap. This is our town. Let's show them what we're about. Let's show them who we are. Let's show them that we love each other out here, and that's why we're here today.
Hell yeah!
And on that note, there's food if you all are hungry. Fill your bellies. That makes a happy heart. And also, I want to give a shout out to Michelle. Happy birthday. People's Realtor. She came out here on her birthday to support. Hey, y'all. This is getting real now. So, I got to ask y'all. If they don't follow through with their demands, what are you all willing to do? You willing to come out here and camp out?
Hell yeah!
Yeah? I'm down. I'll pitch a tent right here until they make some change. And if you're with me, I'm down to do it. Thank y'all. Get some food. We can make our way in.